This is the Samsung Galaxy A57, Samsung's newest addition to their mid-range line of smartphone. And after spending some time looking up this phone, this review is going to tell you what Samsung got right in the A57, where they could have improved, which is where they got wrong, and as always, whether the A57 is worth your money or not. Let's get into it. At first glance, the Galaxy A57 doesn't look different from the previous A series, but Samsung has made a few changes that improves the overall feel here. The phone is slimmer and noticeably lighter than the A56, making it more comfortable to hold during long period of use, whether you're scrolling through social media, watching videos, or chatting with friends. Samsung also refreshed the camera module design by giving it a cleaner and more color-matched look. I like to say that Samsung played it very safe with the Galaxy A57 this year because it does not have any unique or standout features against or over its competitors. Now, while the competitors even try to, experiment on different features like bigger battery, AI features, and, just basically things to make their devices stand out or have a form of uniqueness, Samsung doesn't care or did not bother about any of that in the A57. For the display, we get a Super AMOLED Plus with HDR10 Plus, 120Hz refresh that produces rich colors and a very sharp display, but it is not quite on the same level as Samsung flagship display. But for a mid-range device, it is easily one of the strongest features of the A57. Excellent for streaming movies, scrolling social media, and even casual gaming. Now, Samsung also improved the durability here by giving the A57 an IP68 rating coming from the IP65, which offers better protection against dust and water than before. The cameras is essentially the same as last year, same 50 megapixel wide length, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 5 megapixel macro cam, and 12 megapixel selfie camera. And unfortunately, Samsung has still not included a dedicated telephoto lens, which is quite disappointing considering that this is one feature that many users have been asking for a very long time. Now, video recording supports only 4K at 30 frames and not 60 frames, but for many users, this will really not be noticeable at all. But if you create content and you take a lot of photos and videos, it is definitely worth considering. Overall, the camera is still capable of producing detailed and color accurate photos in good lighting. But considering the growing competition in the mid-range market with other devices, I don't think Samsung still holds the position as a leader in this department. It has clearly fallen off just a little bit. Now, performance is powered by the Exynos 1680 chipset, and on paper, this performs quite well. Everyday tasks like opening apps, browsing the web, messaging, and using social media feel smooth and responsive. But running intense game here will be a stretch, as you'll notice a drop in frame rate during intense gameplay. But for a phone at this price point, that is exactly not outstanding because several competitors offer a more consistent gaming performance. So if gaming isn't your main priority, then you'd probably be satisfied using the A57. But if you are going to be playing a lot of mobile games with this device, then there are other better options in the market that you can explore. Samsung has also increased the base RAM from 6 gig to 8 gig in the Galaxy A57, and this helps with multitasking and makes the phone feels more fluid overall. Now, for battery life, Samsung maintains same 5000 mAh battery capacity, and for regular users, you're sure to get more than a full day on a single charge because with the new chipset and software optimization, battery life is actually better than before. Even though I expected that I would get at least 6000 mAh because other other competing brands offer as much as 6,500 and even up to 7,000 for devices with lesser spec. Now, Samsung settled with 45 watts charging for the Galaxy A57, which again is decent, but other competing brands also offer way more charging solutions for their own device. So it is really not too much or an impossible thing to ask for from Samsung. At this point, it just feels like their device is just stagnant. Now, another major advantage in the A57 is the software support. Samsung promises 6 years of Android updates and security patches. And if you're someone who likes using phone for several years instead of upgrading every year, this is a huge advantage. The phone also ships with One UI 8.5, bringing Samsung's polished software experience along with useful AI-powered features like voice transcription, object eraser, AI select, and circle to search. Now, one of the many reasons why people stick with Samsung is that their software feels stable, easy, and well optimized. And you don't get a lot of unnecessary ads and bugs and bloatwares like you'd get on other smartphones, even within the mid-range category. Now, what do I think about the Galaxy A57? I think that it's a decent mid-range smartphone with premium design, an improved display, an improved reliability, and good battery life, durability, everything good you'd get for a regular mid-range smartphone. But given that this is selling for $550, which is approximately 750,000 Nigerian naira, I expected way more, because other competitors selling within this price range are offering way more than what Samsung is currently giving for this price. And matter of fact, they even missed out on a couple of features like the telephoto camera that they did not add. They have no standout feature that would say that this is the one thing that is really good about this device, and they have a bad gaming experience to crown it all. So there is really nothing that is worthy of that price point. For me, I think that this is overpriced. And if you are coming from the A56, buying this does not justify as an upgrade. But if you are coming from a lesser or a lower version, then you'd probably enjoy buying this and you see it's more of an upgrade. So yeah, you that have watched this and probably other review or own the device, do you think that this is a worthy upgrade? And would you be getting it? Do have to let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel as we are looking to push to 5,000 subscribers before the end of this year or even more. And I'll see you on our next review. Bye for now.